What's up, Face-Off fanatics? Welcome back once again to the movie trivia Face-Off. I am, as always, the Elk, the voice of the Face-Off, the face of the Face-Off, and I am here for another geektacular matchup, and could not be more excited. Today, however, you can call me Mulder because I'm sitting across the desk from my co-host. He is Thomas, the Warhawk Scully. We're going to make a dynamic duo, but we got two others to talk about. We've got Jackson Latner, the Lantern, stepping into the ring. We've got Jack, the Mayor. I believe that's some sort of government office being referred to there. Thomas, we've seen Jackson around for a while now. He's competed in a few matches. Jack making his debut today, and I think we're going to find out between these two which one of them knows Jack. What do you think of these two competitors?
Absolutely. Yeah, this should be a really, really fun match. Two completely different stories for both competitors. You have Jack coming in, his first match. He obviously wants to do well, wants to get that first win, first match, first win on the record. He seems confident, but he's going up against Jackson, who has had two losses against two really good geek competitors in Mark Meyer and Ruben Colin. And there's really nothing more dangerous than a guy who has had two close losses against two really good competitors. So this should be a really fun match. I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea what to expect. That's just the fun of this division.
Absolutely. Always a good time here in the Geektacular division. And we can say a lot about these competitors. We can talk about Jackson, who's had some very impressive matches, come very close a couple of times. We can talk about Jack. We don't know a whole lot about him. It is his debut here in the movie trivia face-off. Always exciting to see a debut. But what I want to do is I want to take it to their competitors right now. We're going to hear what they have to say in the pre-match interviews. Take it away, boys.
Okay, here I am. It's been 9-ish months since my last match that I played in. I gotta say, it's been a little rough just, sitting on the sidelines, watching everybody play, watching the people I lose to do well and then not so well. And, it's something I'm really glad to be back in the ring. I'm glad I can compete against somebody. I don't know what's going on with this guy that seems to have a very similar name to me. He's got the J, the A, the C, and the K, but I'm the real son, I guess.
All right, look. I've been watching this movie trivia schmodown and face off and doing whatever. Played a couple of frenzies, played a couple exhibition matches. It's fun, I'm having a good time. But I'm not here to do any of this big promo character stuff. I'm here to just answer the movie trivia questions. Jackson, you've been doing this for 9 months, sitting there waiting. I'm here. Let's do it. I'm ready.
I'm just excited to get to play another match today, and hopefully I win so I can finally get to prove myself in Geek and not just lose to people that are actually really good at the sport. So I'm just hoping for the best today.
All right, we are back. We've got two competitors coming in, both obviously very excited for this matchup. Pretty quiet pre-match promos, nobody jumping out there and saying they're going to take the league by storm, but there is some confidence here. And obviously, when you have someone who hasn't quite managed that big win just yet, and somebody who's making their debut, you've got two guys with a lot of hunger behind them. Thomas, I think these two are going to fight toe-to-toe, neck and neck, and they're going to go at it until we have a winner. And in the Geektacular division, it's always exciting to see who can dig out those little tidbits of movie trivia information, who can prove they are the biggest geek in the league, biggest geek in the match. Thomas, I don't know what we're going to see here today. As I said, a debut and a known competitor, but I know we are going to have a good time.
Absolutely. Yeah, both competitors seem ready. They seem focused. A win gets you into World War Geek, so let's do it.
That's right. World War Geek on the line, and I am ready to go. Obviously, Thomas Scully, always prepared. He's a good guy there, Thomas Scully. And with the both of us ready, it's only one more thing that I can do for you right now, folks, and that's to introduce your competitors. Let's get them in here. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first, he is Jackson, the Lantern, Latner.
Hey guys.
Hello, Jackson. Welcome, welcome. You in for a big matchup today. Let's get your opponent in here, making his MTFO GEEKTACULAR debut. He is Jack the Mayor.
Let's do this.
All right, both competitors are on the desk. Gentlemen, you got your whiteboards in front of you, and I'm going to ask each of you in turn, make sure that we are good to go. You are all prepared. You are ready to go. Jackson, are you ready?
As I'll ever be, Andrew. As I'll ever be.
Good luck to you, and of course to your opponent as well. Jack, are you ready to go?
Why not?
Well then, the desk is ready. The competitors are ready. The questions are all queued up. It is that time. Let's get ready to face off. Gentlemen, we'll start with round number one. In round number one of the GEEKTACULAR division, here are your rules. In this round, each competitor will be asked 10 questions from various GEEKTACULAR categories. After the question has been asked, you will be provided about 15 seconds to give your best attempt at an answer. Please write your answer on your whiteboards. And when the time is up and we call for you by name, please show us your board and verbalize at the same time. There's no stealing in round number one. Go ahead, write down an incorrect answer. If you're not sure, we don't care. Your opponent cannot take that point off of you. And of course, throughout the course of this match, each competitor will have 3 repeats, colloquially known as the JTE rule, after famed Ecuadorian moviegoer Josh Tapia, and 1 challenge rule. If you would like to use a challenge, don't feel the question was worded correctly, something wrong with the answer, please use your challenge. If it is held up, you will retain your challenge and can use it again. If it is overturned, you will lose your challenge and not be able to use it for the rest of the match. And finally, while the questions are being asked in this round, as it is a whiteboard round, please make sure your whiteboards and hands are visible on screen at all times. We will give you a heads up if anything happens. With that out of the way, the rules are understood. Thomas, are you ready to go on this one?
I am.
All right, round number one. Let's kick it off. Thomas, why don't you take the honor? Question number 1.
All right, guys. Your first question is going to come in the category of Middle Earth. Middle Earth. What is the name of the dwarf who leads the company in the Hobbit films?
Hobbit films, not my favorite, but obviously grew up a geek, grew up a nerd. I did read those books, very, very formative. And the movies, I mean, they made all the money in the world, lots of Oscars coming down.
They are a fun watch. Kind of tedious, kind of slow, but they're still a fun watch.
All right, and gentlemen, you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No repeats, and pens are down.
All right, let's go to Jack.
It was the name of my dwarf hamster, actually, Thorin.
That is correct. And Jackson.
Thorin.
That is correct. Both get it.
Very impressive. Off to a good start, gentlemen. Let's keep it going as we get into question number 2 for you. Your category for your second question is mixed bag. Could be just about anything. And your question is, what does Indy use to find the magnetized crate at the beginning of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
People give this movie a lot of flack, but much like the Hobbit films, this is a fun movie to watch.
I think it's about 70% a good movie. Obviously, there's a few things I might change. I'm thinking refrigerator.
Yeah.
All right. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. No repeats have been used. We will go first to Jack. Jack, did you have the answer?
Nope.
No answer from Jack. Misses that. No perfect round for him. Will Jackson remain perfect through 2?
I think it's a set of dog tags.
And the answer we were looking for was gunpowder. Gunpowder.
All right, both missed that, so we're still tied at 1. So we'll go into your third question in the category of DC films. What is the Penguin's birth name in Batman Returns?
Now, sometimes, I got to say, Thomas, it's kind of sad to miss that early question, but it takes a lot of the pressure off. You're not worried about that perfect round. Just keep up with your opponent, see what you can draw out of your brain, and get that answer on your board because you need to rack up those points moving towards the wheel round.
As long as you can go with your opponent step by step and keep pace with them.
Repeat the question.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So is that Jackson who asked?
Yeah, Jackson.
All right,
Yes.
so Jackson's first repeat. In DC, what is the Penguin's birth name in Batman Returns?
Very enjoyable film. I think Michelle Pfeiffer, the best Catwoman on screen.
That's fair. I'm personally not a massive fan of this movie. I think because it's very much a Tim Burton movie and not so much a Batman movie.
All right, we'll see if the repeat has paid dividends. They have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, so we're gonna go to Jackson first.
I just said Oswald Cobblepot.
And Jack.
I just said Oswald.
Oswald Cobblepot is what we have. So Jackson is correct.
Now, obviously, there is the opportunity here for that challenge, should he wish it. I'm going to give him a few moments just in case, because I do see where he got that first name from. We do not have a challenge. We will move on, gentlemen, to your next question. Jackson with the 1-point lead going into question number 4. Good use of that repeat. Your question in the category of Wizarding World. What are the first names of both of the Patil sisters? Couple name questions in a row. Sometimes these can really throw you off.
Yeah, especially in a category like the Wizarding World, where you have a lot of, while there's some names that can be common, there are a lot of really tough, sort of deeper cut names that you have to know the movies on like the back of your hand.
But if you don't know, you can always just take a Bathilda bag shot at it. Gentlemen, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No repeats, pens are down. Jack, do you have it?
Padma and Parvati.
Padma and Parvati, Patil, Jackson.
Padma and Parvati.
Very well done, Padma and Parvati.
Well done. All right, so we now go to your 5th question in the category of DCEU, Worlds of DC, whatever you call it. In Shazam, name one of the pieces of superhero memorabilia that Freddy has and shows to Billy. Shazam, a very good entry in the DCEU. Some would say one of the best.
Whole lot of fun. I think this one definitely makes my top 5. I don't think it's going to take that top spot anytime soon, but it's a Saturday afternoon watch for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down.
All right, Jackson.
I believe he has a batarang.
And Jack.
Yeah, I put Batwing, but I know it's Batarang. So
Batarang is correct. So Jackson gets the point.
All right, Jackson doing very well in this round. 1 miss, but he's up by 2 points on his opponent. All right, gentlemen, your 6th question coming in the category of Marvel films. Marvel films. And your question is, which actress portrays Kitty Pryde in X-Men: The Last Stand?
This movie is kind of an oof.
It is, I think, a little more than an oof. Not my favorite entry from the Fox X-Men films. Big fan of at least one of the First Class films and probably about 2 of the original X-Men.
Yeah.
And gentlemen, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens are down. Could they come up with it? Jackson.
Ellen Page.
All right, and Jack.
Ellen Page.
Turn the page. That is correct. 1 more point on the board for both gentlemen. Now they are really rolling, getting those points on the board.
All right, guys. Your 7th question is going to come in the category of quotes. In which Wizarding World film will you hear the quote, 3 turns should do it, I think?
Is just the subtitle okay?
That should probably be acceptable, and you can answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's go to Jackson first.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
And Jack.
Prisoner.
They both got it.
Absolutely well done, gentlemen. Really picking up the pace here. Jackson obviously in the lead at this moment. Few more questions to go. And I got to just say real quick for all of our competitors, when you're asking for a title of a movie here in the MTFO, if every single one of the movies starts with the exact same 3 words, you're probably fine. Gentlemen, your next category, question number 8, your third from the end in this round, will be in the MCU. Once again, we're going to be looking for an actress. Which actress portrays Okoye in MCU films such as Black Panther and Avengers Endgame?
She really is a very underrated character, I think, in all these movies.
Really fantastic job by the actress in question. And I think that she's maybe going to get a little more in some of the new movies now that we're seeing some of those big names fade out.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen, and you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens are down. I am super interested to see the spelling on the boards on this one. Let's go to Jackson.
I got her first name spelled correctly. It's Denai Gurira is how it's pronounced.
All right. I hear the pronunciation with an R in there, Gurira. That is the correct answer. I think that's fairly correct. We're going to go ahead to his opponent. Jack, did you also have it?
Denai Guerrera.
Denai Gurira. Neither competitor able to spell the name quite correct, but we're giving them the point anyway. They obviously knew what they were doing.
It's a tough name, so we'll...
Very, very tough.
Yeah, we'll give them credit for that. All right, your penultimate question will come in the category of heroes and villains. What planet is home to the Nova Corps in the MCU? It's a planet question, and it's not Star Trek or Star Wars. It's an odd occurrence.
Very, very rare in here, but hey, there's some planets in some other franchises as well. Just be glad we didn't ask you for Howard the Duck's homeworld.
Ooh.
And we will count them down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, gentlemen.
All right, let's go to Jackson.
Xandar.
And Jack.
Xandar.
Both got it.
Both did, in fact, get it. Now, no perfect round, so there will be no bonus question, but we do have one more to go. Jack could shrink that lead. Jackson could go a little further, or they could stay right where they are. 2 points separating you, gentlemen. Your 10th and final question in the first round will be in the category of, you just said it, Thomas, Star Wars. And not a planet this time. Gentlemen, we just need you to tell us who designed the flaw in the Death Star.
If you've ever watched the Family Guy versions of the original Star Wars trilogy, there's a very funny story behind the creation of the Death Star.
Something, dark side, I think.
Yeah.
Very, very funny. Absolutely did check those out. And gentlemen, you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, Jackson went first last time. So, Jack, let's go to you first.
Galen Urso.
And Jackson.
Galen Urso.
Beautiful.
Absolutely correct. Very impressive as we're coming out of that round. Jackson, just shy of that perfect round, missed one question, could have had an opportunity for a couple more points, really stretched out that lead, but doing well at 9 points. Jack, no slouch in his debut. 7 points in the first round is right about that range you really want to be hitting if you want to be taken seriously as a competitor in any movie trivia division that has 10 questions in that first round. I think that's a very good showing from both gentlemen. What do you think of the first round, Thomas?
Absolutely. Jackson came out firing on all cylinders. He just missed that one. Jack, he's only 2 behind. He's within striking distance. But as we say, anything can happen as we get into round 2.
That is absolutely right, and it was an exhaust port that brought down the Death Star, but in the movie trivia face-off, it's always that damn wheel. We're going to get into it right now. Round number 2, the wheel round. Gentlemen, in round number 2, your rules will be as follows. Each competitor will receive a spin at the category wheel. Whatever it lands on, you may opt to keep. If it is not opponent's or spinner's choice, you may opt to spin again if you do not like your first spin, but you must keep what you land on your second spin. Once you have selected a category or it has been selected for you, you will receive 5 questions from the corresponding category. Each question will begin at a value of 2 points. If you can answer without any assistance, you will receive those 2 points. If you do need a little bit of help, please opt for multiple choice. choice. We will give you 4 options, and one of which will be the correct answer. At that point, the value of the question is 1 point. And as always, very important to remember, gentlemen, steals, they can change the game, and they are live. If you miss that question or fail to answer in the allotted time, your opponent will have the chance to steal at the current point value. We have 9-7 at the moment. And as a reminder for you, gentlemen, as well, currently 2 repeats and 1 challenge remaining for Jackson. All 3 repeats and the challenge on the board for Jack. We will go first to Jackson, as he is currently enjoying a lead. Jackson, would you like to spin first or second?
I'll spin second.
All right, he is deferring before Jack spin. Your categories on the wheel today will be DC, Star Wars, movie release dates, DC, Extended Universe, Middle-earth, Wizarding World, Back to the Future, Marvel, MCU, Star Trek, and as always, our favorite spinner's choice, and that damn opponent's choice, Wedge. Jack, whenever you're ready, give us the high sign. We'll spin that wheel. All right. Always exciting to watch that wheel go round. It can crush you when it comes down, and this first spin will land on movie release dates for Jack.
I'll stick with movie release dates.
Movie release dates. Have to do it. Scott Mance, the king of movie release dates, unless Ben Bateman has something to say about it. So we're going to go ahead to the movie release dates category. You'll receive those 5 questions, and Thomas will be asking you your questions.
All right, Jack, your first question in movie release dates. What year saw Thomas Jane take on the role of Frank Castle?
2004.
That is correct for 2 points. All right, your second question. Jack Sparrow must be found in Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, which premiered in what year?
2007.
No hesitation at all. Another 2 on the board.
The Hobbit went to war in the Battle of the Five Armies in what year?
2014.
That is correct for 2 more points. Your penultimate question. Howard the Duck hit theaters in what year?
1986.
That is correct for 2 more points.
His first hesitation, I thought I might have jinxed it by bringing up Howard the Duck, but he's not missing a beat.
All right, Jack, your final question in movie release dates. What year saw the release of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom?
1984.
For a clean sweep of the round, that is correct.
5 up, 5 down, 10 points on the board. It cannot go much better than that. Looks like the deferral of that spin not quite working out. But of course, Jackson still has his round, came in with that lead, so he doesn't have to quite stay perfect if he wants to stay tied. But would love to have those extra points going into round number 3. Let's bring that wheel back on up, and we will go to Jackson. Jackson, your spin is available whenever you are ready. All right, round and round she goes, and she will stop on the Wizarding World.
I'll keep it.
All right, he's keeping the Wizarding World, one of my favorite categories. As you know, fans did some damage in that Harry Potter matchup. We've had a couple of those, and probably, if popular demand is the way it is right now, we're going to have another one at some point in the future. But for now, we will have 5 questions for you. Jackson, your category, Wizarding World. Question number 1. How many Academy Award nominations did Deathly Hallows Part 2 receive? Getting an Oscar question?
3.
3 is the correct answer for 2 points, off to a very good start, trying to answer back to that great round from Jack. Your second question, Jackson, will be, in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Newt Scamander loses what type of creature in the bank from his expanded suitcase?
Multiple choice, please.
I can absolutely do that for you. Your multiple choice options are A, Miffler, B, Huffler, C, Duffler, D, Niffler.
It's a Niffler.
Absolutely it is. There's a point on the board. Well handled with that multiple choice. He goes up by 1. 3 more questions coming at you. Your middle of the round, number 3. In Deathly Hallows, Part 1. In Deathly Hallows Part 1, who does Harry have a vision of being tortured by Voldemort? Good films, but there are 8 of them, a little bit of time, and a lot of details to dig through.
Xenophilius Lovegood.
Xenophilius Lovegood, incorrect. No multiple choice, but for the 2-point steal, we go to Jack.
Grigorovich.
And Grigorovich, also not the answer on our document. We were looking for Garrick Ollivander. Ollivander.
I had the long white hair in my head, just the wrong person.
Absolutely.
And we will move on. No,
because that's in the book and not the movie. Okay.
To your 4th question, your penultimate in this round. Question 4, Jackson. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, what wizard does Harry and Hermione use the time turner to go back and save the life of? Remember, 3 turns should do.
Sirius Black.
Sirius Black it is. 2 more points on the board. Well recovered after that miss. And your final question, Jackson, looking to come within 1 if you can get this without multiple choice. Still can stay very close, but you do not want to give up that steal. Crucial question 5. In The Half-Blood Prince, what 3 letters are signed in the fake locket found by Harry and Dumbledore in the Sea Cave?
R-A-B.
R-A-B, Regulus Arcturus Black is correct. That is another 2 points on the board. And that means we are at the end of round number 2. Deferred to his opponent and watched him sweep the field, but well handled. Did use that multiple choice, did recover well from that miss, and we are coming in to a very exciting round number 3 as I look at both competitors here separated by the narrowest of margins possible. 1 single point. This is going to be a good round.
Okay, I do want to say, I want to interject. Jack, I can understand your confusion with the Ollivander question. He tortures Ollivander in the vision, but he kills Grigorovich later on in the movie. So
Gotcha.
yeah, separate scenes.
Yeah, that's a different vision, Back to the Past when he steals the Elder Wand, I think. But either way, like I said, I think it was very well handled. And I know my Wizarding World, but sometimes those questions, very, very hard to get lots of characters in there. That being said, what is not hard to do is to win a match if you can stay ahead, which you're going to have to do in round number 3. Gentlemen, close matchup. Let's get your rules for round number 3 underway right now. In round number 3, in the movie trivia face-off GEEKTACULAR division, each competitor will provide us with 3 numbers. Those numbers will range from 1 to 18. 1 to 18. Once you have given us your numbers, you will receive 3 questions corresponding to those numbers. Your first question worth 2 points, your second worth 3, and your third and final question worth 5 total points. Repeats and challenges still in effect in this round. There is no stealing. The question will be yours and yours alone. And with that, Jack, you are currently enjoying a single point lead, but that is enough for you to pick your numbers first. What do you got?
8, 14, and 1.
8, 14, and 1 for the mayor and the lantern.
5, 15, and 6.
5, 15, and 6. Jack, you are in the lead. You will be receiving your questions from Mr. Thomas Scully. Jackson, since you are currently trailing by 1, we will begin with you, and I will be handling your questions. Remember, at this time, you do have 2 repeats and your challenge still in effect should you feel that you need them. Your first category number 5. And it looks like the expanded GEEKTACULAR movie list is coming to hit him because his category is Predator. Predator. And your question will ask you to simply identify Predator 2 is set in which U.S. city?
Los Angeles.
City of Dreams, City of Angels. He's got it. 2 points on the board, taking the lead 18-17 and throwing it back to Jack.
All right, Jack, you chose your 2-pointer, category number 8, which is the category of heroes. Heroes. Hold on. Category of heroes, yes. Your 2-pointer. Who plays John Connor in Terminator Salvation?
I'm sorry, you broke up. Can you repeat the question?
I can give you a
Technical repeat.
yeah, that's it. All right. Your 2-pointer in heroes. Who plays John Connor in Terminator Salvation?
The greatest rant of all time, Mr. Christian Bale.
That is correct for 2 points.
It is an absolutely marvelous rant. I understand that frustration on a movie set. Gotta keep your cool, Christian. We're going to go ahead then. It's throwing back these two, going blow for blow in round number 3 as we come to the second question for Jackson. Jackson, you chose category number 15. Your category for 3 points will correspond to Marvel. Marvel films. We are not looking for the MCU. This is the rest of them. And your question is, in X-Men 2, X-Men United, what is the name of the lake where William Stryker is running his operations? Five, 4, 3, 2.
Lake Marino.
Lake Marino, incorrect. Unfortunately, we were looking for Alkali Lake. Alkali Lake.
Like the battery.
Very much so. Now we're in an interesting position. Not going to go back to Jack. Jack has his 2 questions remaining should he need them. Jackson, with this, his 5-point question, could put up a 4-point lead, absolutely necessitating Jack to hit his own 5-pointer for the win. So with that in mind, everything on the line, 2 repeats and your challenge still in effect, Jackson. Please feel free to use them should you need to. We will go to your third and final question worth 5 points. Category number 6. Here's number 6 is DCEU. DC Extended Universe, Worlds of DC. I don't care what you call it. All you have to do is tell us, what is the name of Batman's aerial transport and carrier vessel used in Justice League? Deep cut question. And we'll need an answer in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Repeat the question.
That is your second repeat, 1 repeat remaining. Your question is, what is the name of Batman's aerial transport and carrier vessel used in Justice League? Need that time sometimes, got to dig deep. I know we've both been there. Thomas, you just can't quite pull it. Using that repeat, will it pay off? Mm-hmm. And Jackson in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Repeat the question.
1. Your final repeat on the board. This is it. You will have 15 seconds once I finish asking this question one more time. And your question is, what is the name of Batman's aerial transport and carrier vessel used in Justice League? Five, 4.
Batwing. I don't know.
And your winner, Jack the Mayor. We were looking for the Flying Fox. The Flying Fox, no doubt named after Gadgeteer Lucius Fox. The Flying Fox was the vessel, couldn't quite pull it. But wow, a very hard-fought battle by Jackson Latner. Seems like the story continues to be the same for him. Puts up an amazing first round, manages to get pretty well and handled in his second round, puts up some points, stays within 1 of his opponent. But it comes down to that third round, those 3 and 5 point questions. They can get deep, they can get tough, and they can decide the match. That's 8 big points he could not put up, which is going to result in a win. Big win for Jack the Mayor in his debut. But I got to say, I think both competitors competing very well here today. Thomas, how about you?
Yeah, this was a really close match, really great match. Jackson kind of, he He got hit with the wheel pretty hard today. His opponent got release states, which can either be your crutch or it can be your Achilles heel. It was Jack's crutch today. He went 10 for 10 in it. Jackson had that one crucial miss that could have changed the entire game. And who knows, maybe the outcome would have been the opposite if he had gotten that 2 points. But that's just how the game goes. But congrats to Jack. Jackson just unlucky. He's just one of the unluckiest competitors I've ever seen personally.
I cannot personally wait to see him come back and manage that big win over a big competitor, because we know he has the talent. We know he has the knowledge, the ability, and a very well-played strategic game, good use of his repeats, good use of all the things that are provided to him here in this matchup. Couldn't quite get it done today. Big victory in his debut. Jack the Mayor coming in with a big win and booking that ticket into World War Geek. What number will he get? Will he be able to win the whole thing? Who's going to come out of that as the first movie trivia face-off GEEKTACULAR champion of the world? We're going to find out real soon, folks. And right now, we're going to find out what both of our competitors thought of their performances today as we take it to the post-match interviews with a beautiful bald Canadian. Take it away.
All right, thank you very much for that, Elk. Probably my favorite introduction of all time. My name is Corey Morrison. I'm the Right Honorable GEEKTACULAR Minister here of the Movie Trivia Face-Off. Here today with our unfortunate vanquished Jackson the Lantern Latner. Jackson, a really great match, and it was really great to see you back here in the MTFO actually competing. We got you out from behind the edit suite, competing again. Must have felt good after such a long layoff.
Yeah, no, I mean, it felt great to, be back in it. And after that first round, I was feeling really good. But, it didn't go my way, at the end of the day. And that's okay. Jack's a great player. I'm glad I lost to somebody that has at least a name that's pretty close to mine. So it's kind of like I won, just have the name association of winning.
There you have it. Now let's talk about round one, because after round one, you had a 2-point lead, leading Jack 9-7, just 1 point off of a perfect round. You had to feel fairly confident after that first round.
Yeah, no, I definitely did. I missed that question early, and I was like, it's starting to get in my head a little bit. But then, I picked up steam. He missed a couple more questions, so I started to feel with it. There was that, Penguin and Batman Returns question. I asked for a repeat on it because I thought it was a trick question because I know the name of the Penguin. But I thought, Tim Burton gave him a weird name. So I assumed that, but then I was like, no, I'll just guess, And it ended up working out, but,
Perfect. So round two comes around. You would like to spin second. You get Wizarding World, and you opt to take it. Now, is Wizarding World a category you would think you're most comfortable in, or was there just other categories on the wheel that you didn't want to deal with?
It was more of that second option. I mean, in my match with Mark, I took Wizarding World, went 10 for 10, just like Jack did with movie release dates today. So a lot of Wizarding World questions I'm prepared for. I mean, I was this close on the, who did he see torturing him? The faces look pretty similar when you think of it in your head, and so I was close, but I can't make excuses for it. At the end of the day, he was just a little more knowledgeable than I was today.
Still, 7 points coming out of round two. Not too shabby, only missing out on 3. Takes us into round 3. We go a little back and forth here. Now, you draw one of our expanded GEEKTACULAR categories right off the hop with Predator. Had you seen Predator 2 in a while? Or?
I wouldn't say in a while. I mean, I probably watched it on TNT like 5 years ago. But I just, I remember, like the cityscape, and it's like 1990 Los Angeles, even though the movie didn't come out in 1990 and it was a whole thing. So it's just weird.
Now, had that been a 5-pointer in Predator, I shudder to think what the question would have been. I haven't looked at the document, but I'm sure it would have been something just nobody in the world could have answered. After that, of course, you get Marvel. Really kind of a coin flip question there. Alkali Lake. Us Canadians know that quite well because that's in Alberta. That's not too far away from us. But that in the DCEU, very obscure question from Justice League. Tough to handle that. Your feelings on your round 3 and maybe your future here in the MTFO?
I want to play again. I think I've heard rumblings about some sort of like qualifying matches that are happening like right before World War Geek happens. So maybe I'll throw my name in there, see if maybe I can get lucky that day. Cause I feel like I'm a pretty knowledgeable guy. I answered a lot of questions correctly in my 3 matches. And so I feel like in that type setting, I mean, I kill it in round 1, and I assume World War Geek's a lot like a bunch of round 1 questions, hopefully, maybe a couple deep cuts, but it's something I'm looking forward to. If not, I'll watch just like everybody else does, and edit some more singles matches because we know I don't stand a chance there. But at least here I stood a little bit of a shot. Didn't get knocked out today, so it made me feel pretty good.
No, and 18 points in a losing effort, nothing to sneeze at. You'll find you're not dropping too far in the rankings, even though you are 0-3. That qualifying match is going to be a free-for-all format happening right before the main free-for-all at World War Geek. So just looking at your competition, you got to be feeling a little bit confident in that qualifier. Even if you draw a lower number, you've got some guys who never won a match or some raw rookies that you have to fight your way through. It may not be as tough for a competitor like yourself.
Yeah, hopefully not. And there it's not like I can get that little like TKO hopping in my head. Like you said, 18 points is a lot to score in a losing effort. I've scored 18 twice now in losing efforts, and I scored 20 in my other losing effort. So I think I've scored a lot more points than some people that might be 2-1 or 3-0 right now. So
there you have it. Another 0-3 competitor, Hunter Chambliss, might be an opportunity for both of you to get your first win in the MTFO if you're interested in taking on him after World War Geek.
Yeah, tell you what, I'll accept it right now. I'll call him out, whatever I have to do. I love playing these matches. I want to play again. So whoever I have to play, I'll play him.
There you have it, folks. Jackson, the Latner, unfortunately lost here today, but he's going to be competing in the qualifying match, and maybe we'll get him in a match against Hunter Chambliss for his first one-on-one Geektacular win. But when we come back, we'll be talking with today's victor, Jack the Mayor. And we are back here with today's winner, Jack the Mayor. How's it going, Jack? How you feeling?
Again, feeling lucky that I hit movie release dates.
I'm assuming you put that on the wheel.
So I did.
Okay, perfect. So after round one, that's really a tough round for rookies. Now, you're not your normal rookie. I know you're well ingrained in the fan leagues with a lot of people here. So you came in nice and cool, calm and collected, which is good to see. 7 out of 10. Definitely not a bad round one at all. How were you feeling coming out of round one?
I was feeling fine coming out of round one. Like I know that they were talking about how it's round one that really shapes it. For me, it is always the wheel round. That's always what I've seen. It's that round that can make or break the match. And in my case, it made it.
Yep. From my experience, if you're within 3 or 4 out of round one, you're still very much in the match, depending on how the wheel shakes out. And for your sake, it shook out pretty well because you got movie release dates, which is a category that you just breezed through, no problem. Howard the Duck looked like it might have thrown you off for a little bit there, but you're able to come back with a perfect 10 out of 10 out of round two. Breathing a little easier, I'm sure, heading into round 3 after that.
Yeah, for sure. Howard the Duck, I thought about it for a second. I was thinking about where have I seen that before? I know I've seen it somewhere. I know it's the 80s, and I know it's like that mid to late category. I was thinking 1987, but I went with my gut and I said 86.
Yeah, and it worked out very well for you. Up 17-16 after round 2, heading into round 3. You only had to answer your 2-point question, a hero's question. After that, though, would have been Back to the Future or Wizarding World for your 5-pointer. How comfortable would you have been with a 3-point Back to the Future or a 5-point Wizarding World question to win this thing?
So I was studying Back to the Future before this match, so I think I would have been okay with that. I don't know how it would have shook out. Wizarding World, I would have, if it was from any of the 8 movies, like the good ones, I would have been confident, no problem. I listened to those books to go to bed. Those are ingrained in my memory. That was what I was thinking about with the Grigorovich versus Ollivander steal in round 2, because I thought that Voldemort told Clissus to go find Grigorovich, but got him confused, crossed the streams, if you will.
Still, it's got to be a good feeling sitting there watching your opponent having to answer a 3 and then trying to answer a 5 just to stay in the match. Kind of takes all the pressure off. And now you find yourself with a guaranteed slot in World War Geek, which is our free-for-all tournament we're having coming up here at the end of May to determine our very first Geektacular champion. So your next match is going to be for the belt. How you feeling about being in the big event in May?
Oh, well, now I'm intimidated.
And after that, 1-0 here. Is there anybody that you've seen maybe here in the MTFO around the Discord server that you'd like to challenge for a match?
Anyone who wants to take me on, I'll gladly play him. I just want to play. I like answering the questions. I like doing the match. Not so much. I'm very straightforward. I like to answer those questions.
Well, another guy who's very straightforward on his trivia is the guy who called this match for you today, Thomas the Warhawk Scully, currently the #1 ranked competitor in the movie trivia face-off. Who knows? Maybe we'll see a matchup with you and him somewhere down the line if you could rack up a couple of wins.
Hey, if he wants to do a Harry Potter match with me, I'm totally down.
That would be very interesting to see, and we'll get his comments on that coming up right away. Jack, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on your big win. Let's take it back to the desk with Andrew the Elk Kelk and Thomas Scully.
All right, thank you, the Right Honorable Geek Commissioner Corey Morissette, for those wonderful interviews with both of our competitors. And I have the pleasure of sitting here with a man who can give you some real insight. As mentioned, he is the #1 ranked competitor in the GEEKTACULAR division. He is the man everybody's looking out for in that World War Geek matchup. I got to say, Thomas, I watched these two play today. I think if Jackson can make it through that qualifying match, the consistency that he's put up in his matches so far, wins or no wins, means he's actually a fairly dangerous competitor. And after this, a very Batemansian performance in movie release dates and a very solid match all the way through. Obviously, Jack Mayer, also very, very dangerous. But when you're in that World War Geek and this is coming up for you, Thomas, you don't know where to look because it's not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people. You're surrounded on all sides, and all you can do is answer every question that comes into your brain and hope to make it out at the end of the day. We know how tough that can be. How do you think that match is going to shake out for you and for our competitors today?
Well, first of all, if Jackson makes it into World War Geek, out of all the players who are probably going to be in that sort of top 10 in terms of when they come in, he's by far one of the, if not the most dangerous. I mean, that man does not deserve to be 0-3. He got a rough ride with the wheel. And as for Jack, any man who listens to Harry Potter audiobooks going to sleep has my eternal respect. So I'll be rooting for him down the line. But as for me in World War Geek, I just got to worry about myself. I can't worry about who else is on the desk, because there's really no strategy involved. It's answering as many questions correct as you can, and answering as many right out of 5, and just not necessarily being the best in every round, but not being the worst in every round. So it doesn't matter if you don't outscore everybody. You just gotta you gotta outrun the slowest kid running from the axe murderer. You don't have to be the one in front of the pack.
That is absolutely true. Sometimes it's just about surviving around, getting enough points to make it through the next one where you can really show that knowledge. And a big advantage for all of our World War Geek competitors, no wheel. The wheel is so mean in this league. It's taken so many players out. A great performance by Jackson today, but that wheel ran him over. The lantern was snuffed out, and so many opportunities to keep that match even tighter than it already was. That little miss in round #1 for 1 point, not quite getting the perfect round. This could have been a very different match because if he had 1 more point, he's tied up. If he manages 2 by getting that first round done, he's in the lead. He gets to pick different numbers, perhaps, potentially, and we could have seen a whole different thing in a very similar way as his opponent would have had to go into the 3 and the 5. Jack Mayer managing to make it out today. Little bit of bad luck for Jackson, but with the performances he's putting up, obviously nobody to overlook. And he's got a match potentially coming up. I will make one correction because I did think of it while those interviews were going on. Great job, Corey. But I'm pretty sure if he is actually the winner of World War Geek, that match might be booked a little bit differently. Maybe you'll be the one across the table from him, Thomas. Either way, it's going to be an incredible matchup. We're going to have a special guest announcer. I'm fairly certain we've locked that up for you fans at World War Geek, somebody you know and you love. And don't worry, I'll be there as well. The Elk always on the desk for you, bringing you the face-off and bringing you a whole lot of entertainment. In these troubled times, I'm going to take a moment, folks, and just say, please take care of yourselves and others. Make sure you're maintaining that time at home. Keep that distance. Wash your hands out there because we want all of you to come back and join us once again. Big thank you to Corey. Big thank you to both of our competitors who I can't wait to see in a match again. And look forward to all that good stuff coming up. Thank you as well to our staff here at the Movie Trivia Face-Off, editors, question writers, everybody who does so much to bring it to you. A little bit of entertainment and a little bit of love coming into your life from me, the Elk. And thank you to you, Thomas Scully, for joining me on the desk. I'm sure you send that love out to all the Face-Off fanatics out there as well. I've had a fantastic time, fans. I hope you have. Come back and see us again real soon. We're putting out matches every week for you to enjoy. If you haven't already, you're somehow here and you are not a member of the Schmodown Patreon, please check out the Schmodown. You like us, you're definitely going to love them. It's been a great day. I'm happy to have been here for you, and I'll see you next time we face off.